Rubinur Khatun, currently a postdoctoral fellow at NCRA-TIFR. I have completed my PhD last year from Indian Institute of Astrophysics, and in this video I am going to talk about my science story. So, brief background about myself. I born and brought up in Inayatpur village, which is almost 20 to 25 kilometers away from Malda district. And this Malda town. And Malda town is situated almost 350 kilometers away from Kolkata, West Bengal. So at very early age, say class 2 or 3, my father introduced me to Saptarshi Mandal and Kalpurus. Saptarshi Mandal is Big Dipper, Kalpurus is Orion. And we had this task to search for 3 stars from Orion's belt or 7 stars from Saptarshi Mandal or Big Dipper. And back in that time, the sky used to be very clear, our places. So, and we also had say solar system and Milky Way, Akash Ganga in our textbook, school textbook. And this was bit my knowledge at that age about astronomy. Yes, my father taught me why some some points in sky are blinking and some points are not. So this was my introduction to astronomy at that age. I learned, I had interest in science, so mainly physics and math. So I took science stream for my 11 and 12. And I came to Kolkata, started my hostel life, where I did my graduation in physics honors under Calcutta University. My real interest in astronomy or astrophysics began during my masters. So I got admission in St. Xavier's Kolkata for my masters. St. Xavier's Kolkata has this specialization course, astroparticle physics, high energy physics. So during this specialization course, mainly in 3rd and 4th semester, last 2 semesters. So in astrophysics we had basics of astrophysics, say like galaxy stars, binary stars, redshift, Hubble's law, bit of cosmology. On the other side, high energy physics and particle physics also had like several interesting topics, and I remember these huge calculations which used to give me real happiness, I would say. I had inclination on both sides. I started liking both. But I would say like at that point I didn't know that how one can proceed for research. So we had this idea, say like from childhood you learn about several scientists and all, you know that people do research, but I didn't have much idea how one can proceed for that. So my teacher Shivaji sir, he mentioned that if I want to continue my study, I want to do research, I can try for PhD. The other factor was that I was staying in Bose Institute hostel. So this astroparticle high energy physics is a collaborative program from Bose Institute's JC Bose Institute and St. Xavier's, and we got chance to stay in their hostel, and I got in touch with few PhD scholars, and I learned very initial terms of PhD, say like research paper, JRF, SRF, etc. And next I did my MSc project on supermassive black hole accretion, and that was a theoretical project. I like that project. It was a fun time. I learned several things during that time. So these are bit factors like through which I learned about PhD and got interested in astrophysics. The last thing which helped me is that we visited St. Joseph, Bangalore during our fourth semester, all of our batchmates, and we had this we had this workshop in collaboration with St. Joseph and Xavier's. There were like several lectures on astrophysics, astronomy, several hands-on sessions, and during this visit, I expressed my interest to do PhD in astronomy during a discussion, and Professor Rabi from St. Joseph, he mentioned about IIS entrance exam. We went back, with the help of my friends, I submitted my form, wrote exam and got selected for interview. I remember one interesting fact from my interview. So I entered in that room, they start asking me my intro. I mentioned that during that time I mentioned that between this masters and these exams and interviews, I am doing I'm giving tuition to some class 11-12 students. And when they started asking me question, I was a bit nervous, not because of the question, but I was nervous due to communication skill. And I remember from panel, one of the faculty, she says that just think as your student and explain black body radiation. That single sentence gave me huge courage and confidence, and my interview went very smooth. I didn't know who she was, and during interview they asked some physics concepts from undergrad and postgrad. So my interview went well, and when I came out from my interview, I mentioned this situation, about that situation to one of my friends, and I said, whoever will get chance to do PhD with that ma'am, he or she would be very happy. Next morning, I get a call that I am selected for IIS PhD program, and the moment I really can't express now, because in my family I was the first one who did that much high study, even masters, and got chance to do some research. And my parents by that time had some understanding about PhD, but what more than that, what they knew that our daughter has got chance to do research, and their happiness was like out of the world. So this is how my reaction, my family's reaction, all were like very positive. So I joined IA in 2014 with my 4 batchmates, and first year of IA has this coursework divided in 2 semesters, where faculties from IA and JAP courses, so JAP courses in the sense from ISRO, ISC, RRI, they taught us several topics, basics of astrophysics, cosmology, astronomical techniques, and we had to go to ISRO or ISC or RRI twice a week, which was a bit hectic due to Bangalore's traffic at that time. And but I would say like it was fun to go and attend those classes. And we had to do this small 3 months project at the end of this coursework. During IA faculties, they give a list of projects, and we had to choose one of them. And there was one topic related to supermassive black hole, where actually AGN is creating supermassive black hole, and the topic was on binary supermassive black hole, binary AGN. I immediately fell for that topic. Other interesting fact is that that topic was given by Mausami Das. So remember I mentioned about one faculty during my interview whose one sentence gave me courage and confidence. Later I found out that it was Moushami Das. So I fell for both the subject as well as the person. I started this project. It was a small project. I enjoyed that work, and at the end of first year, again the faculties give a list of projects, where from Moushami side it was a continuation of on the same topic. I chose that. I remember one conversation. So the day we are finalizing our project, I met her. I was asking very dumb questions, how we are going to do this, that. In reply to that, Moushami says that will I have plan for that, and I hope that you will obtain good results, will have publications. But what I want from you, Ruby, at the end of say like third year or fourth year, after a certain time, I want you to become independent and start thinking about your research, some new aspects, some new projects. And truly speaking, at that time I didn't have much idea what exactly she was saying. But I would say like Moushami has always given me that space of freedom to do whatever I want, or the way I want to proceed for my research. And slowly she gave me that that freedom to become independent. So my research started, and it started through some literature survey. At the same time, she introduced me to Dr. Preeti Khag, who was that time in IIA. So Moushami gave me helped me to understand galaxy mergers. Preeti helped me to do this AGN, and for my research we decided to use radio observations, high resolution radio observation. And that time they suggested me to do attend a radio school, was happening in NCRA. I came for radio school at NCRA. I attended lectures, and I learned my first step of radio astronomy, a bit understanding, I would say. I learned about radio data, learned few softwares, CASA apps, and yeah, that school was really helpful. I went back, and by that time we had our own data, new data observed from VLA, and I started my research. So I would talk about this observational proposal, a few sentences. So because that was one of the important part for my PhD. So when one decides to do observational astronomy, one has to use some data, observational data, and there are plenty of public data or archival data. One can use those. However, sometimes one has to observe their new sample, new galaxies, and for this one has to obtain observing time from telescopes. And getting time from this large telescope like VLA, GMRT are really a competitive place, because there are limited supply and increasing demand day by day. So to get observing time, it is really important to write a good observational proposal, and it comes through practice. And Moushami gave me that training from the beginning of my PhD, while Preeti helped me to do the later part, say like OPT, observational preparation tool, and handling bit of radio data, something. And so this is how my PhD started. I started writing my observational proposal, learned bit, and got sometimes in VLA, telescopes like VLA. Now I have to say that during that time, so there are few factors, I would say. So what happened, I wrote my proposal, got time, and it was about to observe, but this time span is almost a year. So the time you start writing a proposal, and if you get to know about that your proposal get accepted or rejected after a few months, and it takes almost 10 to 12 months to get your data. And as this radio data has volume is really high, so I used to get, say, like 100 GB data. When you reduce, it will become 3 times 300 GB data. So in my second year, when I started writing proposal, getting time, this question came in my mind: what if after 1 year, or say like 1.5 year, I get my data, I get my image, and I don't get expected result? And that was really puzzling for me at that time, when you begin your research and you have several questions. You didn't have background, like people. I didn't have any understanding that how research is done and how one proceed. So that I had a bit confusion on that. And luckily I met Ramesh Narayan at that time. He is a renowned astrophysicist, works on supermassive black hole. I got chance to meet him, like one-to-one meet, and I was asking very nice questions to him. But then I put my main concern: what if after 1 year I don't get expected result? And in reply to that, he told me that you may not get expected result, but your unexpected result would may be much more interesting than expected result. And as a researcher, as an astrophysicist, we should try to explain those unexpected results, interesting facts, and one should enjoy the process. You may have to learn new techniques, you may have to study new topic, but this is where the joy of research lies. So that was very helpful to learn in the second year of your PhD. Other factor I learned from my seniors and my batchmates and friends, that there is no parameter, no single parameters to compare one's PhD with others. And I would say this is magical mantra to learn at very early age of your PhD. So just understand that we all are working on different topics. Someone is doing theoretical work, someone is using radio data, someone is using optical data, or someone is trying to build an instrument. We all have different different aspect, different plan, models to do, proceed. So there is nothing to compare with each others. And at that time I understood, okay, there is no competition, and I got same vibe from my friends, my batchmates. So these two things, that you would get some unexpected result which you should try to explain, and there is no competition. It's just your work, and enjoy that. So these two mantra, and I had my data set. I learned bit of data reduction method. With this I started my PhD, and I would say these things made my PhD rest of 3 years very smooth. Yes, I had a bit problem with managing this radio data. So I used to get, as I said, like few 100 GB data, and sometimes you have to use archival data whose size is again large. So I had to face like few problems with data storing and all. and always had to ask data center people for extra space. However, they always helped me whatever they could, however they could. And another big problem was that when I was doing my PhD at that time, I didn't have anyone else who was working with radio data. So several small things, techniques took me long time, say like several weeks, several days, which I knew that if I had someone to help, it could have done in single day. But I always got this positive vibe from Preeti and Mosumi that wherever I'm spending time, maybe it is taking longer, but it would be worth it someday. So this is how my PhD started. About my research work, it was something related to binary or dual AGN. So we know that we live in a galaxy, Milky Way, and universe. There are plenty of such galaxies. Now, another observational fact is that these galaxies have a central supermassive black hole. Now, theory and simulations, they expect that these galaxies, present day galaxies, form through mergers. Now, imagine that in past there were two galaxies with individual supermassive black hole. They merged. What would happen to their supermassive black hole? Instead of one single supermassive black hole at the center of galaxy, we should expect pair of supermassive black hole. And there are theories and simulations show that when there is merger happening, there would be enormous gas inflow, and this black hole starts accreting matter, eating matter, and they become active. So basically, at the end of the merger, we should expect to see pair of AGN, active galactic nuclei. And these pairs, known as dual or binary AGN, was expected in large number. However, when I started my study, the number was very less than expected. And then we planned to make a sample from some analytical calculation and some data, literature data, and observe with high resolution radio telescope, VLA. We observed in a few cycles, and we tried to see whether our sample gives a good number of binary AGN or not. And during this process, I got several unexpected results, tried to explain those, and really enjoyed that process. My second part of topic includes UV study of dual nuclei. For that, I used UVIT telescope on board on Astrosat telescope satellite, and UVIT also revealed really good, interesting results for one of my sample galaxy. So this was about my PhD topic. Now I would say that once you after a certain time, once you get a bit of your results, say like second year or third year, you now it is important to deliver this work to the community, and this can be done in research using, say, like several presentation, either talk, poster, and ultimately you have to publish a paper so that people can learn about your work. If needed, they would use your work. So for me, when I got my first result, I attended this JET meeting happening in ICTS 2015 around November, and there was like several people from all over the world who works in JET, and they came for that meeting. So I had poster presentation, and I saw that Bernie Fanaroff, who discovered FR1, FR2 radio jets, he came to my poster, and this was like, imagine first time you are presenting your work somewhere, and Bernie Fanroof, whom I knew as my field was AGN, and he comes and he started asking me several questions, and it was wow moment for me. And then he suggested several facts, suggested several things for my work. Next day, late Govind Swarupji, he comes to my poster, and again another wow moment for me. And again he suggested several things which at that time I didn't understand, I would say, like fully. But what I understood, that yes, when these people showed some interest on my work, I was happy. I was somewhere I was like bit confident about my work. And this suggestion, this conversation can give you several ideas, and some ideas for your new work too. Next, I had talk in ASI 2015, where I met again another guest scientist from Korea, and while chatting he showed interest in my work. And what I'm trying to say, that when you talk to these people and they give some suggestions, they show some interest in your work, it's not instantly you get some paper or collaboration, but at this time you get some kind of confidence, some understanding, and these are really helpful. So this is how I started presenting my work. I presented in several schools, several conferences. I attended a workshop in Cape Town in my last year, which I felt like it was a bit late. So I would say like one should start from third year, I would say like second year or third year, to presenting their work in abroad. And so yeah, this is how about my paper. So I said about talk, poster. So my first paper, which I submitted just after my second year, got rejected. So rejection, but yeah, let me tell you that rejection couldn't make me sad for more than 5 minutes. Why? Because there were like several comments which were really helpful, which were really suggesting some new aspect of my work. So I went back, I read my reports again and again, and found out what exactly referees are trying to say. I worked on those comments, and my work improved by, I would say, like 200%. Submitted, it got accepted. So here I am trying to say that yes, a rejection has this power to make you little weak, sad, but never allow it to never allow it to stay with you for more than certain time, and just fight back, work on it. So this is how my paper, poster and talk presentation started. And yes, I was excited about my paper, and work got published, but I always get excited about my observational proposal when I get my time. Now, bit about my hostel life. So I was staying in hostel, so I didn't have much changes or unexpected things in hostel. What happened new was yes, I left West Bengal for the first time. So last time when I came to Bangalore, I hated food, and I thought that I'll never come back to Bangalore. This time I had to stay there for 5 years, but it was really a wonderful experience to know people from all over India, different culture, different mindset, different point of view, and it is really, I feel that we all should have spent some time with different people and this really gives a different this really opens our mind in several cases. There were in Bhaskara, we had like several cultural programs which I enjoyed and few fun facts at the beginning with food. As a Bengali, I got confused with ragi ball as gulab jamun. I got confused curd rice as payas, Bengali payasam. Yeah, so these are some facts. Yeah, and writing, I'd say like writing, speaking in English was bit at the beginning. I had little difficulty, where Mosumi really helped. Even Preeti also helped. Yes, there were friends who made fun of my broken English, and later I made fun of their weird sense of humor, so no regret. And during this PhD time, I started painting. Painting I learned in my school days for 7-8 years, but I forgot even how to draw a circle. Again I started few games like badminton, volleyball. Started hiking for the first time in my life. I started going for hike. Also in third year, I got chance to stay with my brother. He came for masters, and as I said, like almost 6-7 years I was staying in hostel. So that that moment when I learned that my brother is going to stay with me for next 2 years, it was again something which I cannot express. So this is how I started. I lived my 5 years, and in terms of changes in society, I don't think I have made much, but I'd say that. So now, as I said, my family didn't have idea about PhD and all, and now my parents, they don't, especially my father, he doesn't ask me what I do. Doesn't mean that they don't have any interest. What I meant here, that when I started my PhD, I tried to explain them basics of astrophysics, say like how star works. There is a hydrogen fuel, comparing with this oven. I tried to explain what is galaxy, what is central supermassive black hole. Try to explain even AGN and binary AGN. So now what my father asked me, he asked, Ruby, have you found any binary or dual AGN? He asked me, so he has bit understanding about these telescopes and observing time. He asked me, so have you applied for observing time this time, whether you have got or not? So I would say that in terms of changes, I have met big changes. At least my surrounding, my family, they have some understanding on astrophysics, astronomy. They know few of astronomical objects. One of my primary teachers, he had like really interest on knowing these things. I explained to her, and such few other people. So they have now understanding about astronomy, astrophysics, and what a PhD scholar does. So this is how a small change I have made. Now in terms of if people want to join astronomy or do PhD, I would say that start a PhD, start your research at present days in India only if you have a real interest, because see, it doesn't have much money. it doesn't give you a smooth career path. There are ups and downs, and it is bit lengthy. So one can survive only if they have interest in that subject, astronomy, astrophysics. For me, I would say that I get same kind of excitement when my proposal get accepted. I get my first image. Same kind of excitement and joy. So this is what keeps me going for my research. So if you have such interest, you can start thinking of a PhD. Thank you for listening.